What is your God value? What is your God value? One of the most important factors for knowing yourself is knowing who you are and whose you belong to. And so often people are trying to desperately emulate something or someone that they want to be. Everywhere you turn, people are listening to the same things, or eating and drinking the latest diet or detox, or watching the same shows such as Scandal or The Housewives of Somewhere Out There. Many folks are even wearing the same shoes, Jordans, or LeBrons, and for the women, Jimmy Choo shoes. Yet no matter how you view it, nobody is being or living out the Spirit of the Lord that has been placed inside of them long ago. And just recently we've seen the new iPhone 6 that came out, and everybody's talking about getting this phone because of its great value with all its added features. And in October of next month, the new Note Galaxy 4 will also be launching its new phone for the world to run and spend their hard-earned monies on. Did you know that in the African American communities that all major phone carriers purposely campaign primarily to people of color, especially black folk? It's a fact that if you added up every ethnic group in the U.S. and combined them all, and they all had a cell phone, still African Americans buy newer phones more than all those other ethnic and racial groups combined. Most folk buy phones when their phones are broken or damaged. Yet for black folk, studies have found that they only buy or upgrade their phones simply because there's a newer phone, even if that phone only has one or two new added features which they won't even use anyway. Black folk will still fork over that low-wage paying job money in order to have what they perceive as something of value, and that add up to a multi-billion-dollar force in keeping the wealthy and the powerful in control. Everywhere I turn, I see young people, middle-aged people, and old people who may be living in slums or what is known as ghettos. Yet, still, if you watch them long enough, surely you will see them talking on one of those $600 or $900 phones daily. And now, I'm not judging anybody with these statements, yet I'm feeding you truths and knowledge about what so many of our people value. And they've made Phil Nike a wealthy man with a $2 sneaker by putting black faces or logos on his shoe. Recently, even Kanye West had an issue with Mr. Nike when Mr. Nike wanted to pay Kanye West a measly $4 million to use his likeness to sell his shoe. And when Kanye mentioned royalties, he was told that he wasn't an athlete, therefore no royalties would he receive, leaving Mr. West totally enraged and feeling used as a slave in a much bigger scheme of things. And all in all, people are looking for objects of clothing, jewelry. Hell, black folk made Lexus trucks and cars a huge force in the car industry, along with video games such as Xboxes. I can go on and on and on, and still we as a people do not see God having any value to our existence, and instead we see value in how we look and what we have, and how people in the world may view us, and what a dangerous and mighty shame that is. It even goes on in the church with status of what kind of car you roll up in, or what kind of clothing you wear, and jewelry you have on as well. Man has totally become idols of the world with no power, no glory, and no God values. And we understand that most of America in this world, they live and breathe off of the concept of having no value or no God values, from the corporate world to the Capitol and into the courthouses. Yet it is these so-called Christians and God's chosen who have conformed to this world and are now participating fully in this game of selfishness and lowliness that I'm speaking of. And from a biblical standpoint, you might say that God gave us value when God created us. Let me say this again. God gave us value when God, all by himself, created us. It is your God value that you must possess. I wanted to do this video before the holiday season started to remind people, not just black folk, but to remind all of God's people that you are more than a toy, a phone, jewelry, clothes. You were made from royalty. And that's how you must rise and stand. We as a nation of people, we have not even begun to activate the power from within. We've allowed ourselves to be duped by commercials and all the feeding from the world, not even attempting to walk in our glory, our authority, and our power of excellence. Again, I ask you again, what is your God value? What is your God value, and how do you begin to activate that? This is Minister G.L. Harden from the By His Blood Ministries, as well as the Holy Spirit's radio show. I just wanted to bring that to you. I thank you guys for watching and listening, and share this wonderful subject to everyone that you may come in contact with. Peace and blessings be unto you.